Alright guys, so we're going to look into simplifying fractions. What simplifying fractions really means is write the same fraction with smaller numbers. That's basically it. So if we read the instructions, it says simplify each, write your answer as a mixed number when possible. We're going to have some mixed numbers later on. So looking at question number 1, let me write 20 as a multiplication of two numbers. Let me write that as 5 times 4. That's 20. Let me write 32 as a multiplication of two numbers. Let me write that as 8 times 4. If I cancel out the 4's on each, I'm going to get 5 over 8. So it's the same fraction, just with smaller numbers. That's what simplifying fractions means. And if you can simplify that even more, then do so. That one I cannot do because 5 times 1 is 5 times 1. But then 8, there's nothing I can do to cancel numbers and make them smaller. So that's as low as we can go. For number 2, 4 times 12, let me start with 4. Let me start it as 2 times 2. Sometimes we're going to get that simplification in one shot. I'm going to do it in 2 steps. So let me start with 2 times 2. 12, let me write it 2 times 6. Once again, I want to cancel a number. So I have 2 over 6. But then 2 over 6 can still be simplified. Let me write that as 2 times 1 over 2 times 3. So 4 over 12 simplifies to 1/3. Remember I said I want to take 2 steps, right? I have to do it two steps. And you guys might comment like, well, what if instead of doing 2 times 2, what if I go 4 times 1, and then 12 I go 4 times 3? Cancel out the 4 from the beginning. Then you still get to the same answer, just a little bit faster. So sometimes we get it in one shot. Sometimes it takes us more than a step, right? A couple of times. Let me take a look at question number 3. Give me two numbers that multiplied equals 45. 5 and 9. Alright, so 5 times 9. Now, two numbers that multiply equals 63. 7 times 9. We cancel out the 9's. So we have 5 over 7. That cannot be simplified anymore, so we're good. Let's take a look at question number 4. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 12. 6 times 2, okay. 6 times 2, what about 30? 6 times 5, cancel out the 6's, so we have 2 over 5. And 2 over 5 cannot be simplified anymore, so we're good. This just froze for a minute. But if we take a look, we have this for the first 10 questions. This is the simple fractions we can say. There you go. So any questions for the first 10? 6. Alright, looking at number 6, give me two numbers that multiply equals 9. Which one? 10 and 9, okay. Can we write 144 as a multiplication of 10 or 9? Alright, basically, give me two numbers that equals 144, but we're hoping that one of them is a 10 or a 9. So that way they cancel out. Okay. Actually, we can. I'll say 9. 9 times what? 9 times 16. Thank you. That way we cancel out the 9's, so we have 10 over 16. We can still do better. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 10. 2 times 5, okay. What about 16? 2 and 8. Okay. We cancel out the 2's, so we have 5 over 8. And that cannot be simplified anymore, so we're good. Okay. Any other questions for the first 10? Number 10? Alright, looking at number 10, give me two numbers that multiply equals 36. 6 and 6. Alright, we can start it that way. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 45. 5 times 9. I notice that nothing cancels out. Can we write 36 as a multiplication older than 6 times 6? 9 times 4. Thank you. Because that way we cancel out the 9s and we're going to write 4 over 5. Remember, our goal, what we're trying to technically is cancel out numbers. So try to have the multiplications and then they share a number. So that way you can cancel that number. Alright, any other questions for the first 10? Alright, looking at number 11, I just added a number in front of it. We call that mix. Because there's a whole number and a fraction. Let me deal with the fraction for right now. Right, because we'll deal with the whole number later. Let me deal with the fraction. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 20. 2 times 10. What about 60? 6 times 10. So we cancel out the tens. We have 2 over 6. We can still do better. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 2. 1 times 2. What about 6? 2 times 3. So we cancel out the 2's and we finish with 1/3. The fraction only. Remember, I was just dealing with the fraction. Now the big number in front of it, let me just bring it to the front. So my answer will be 2 and 1/3. Right. Simplify the fraction, but don't forget about the whole number. The 2 in front of it. Looking at question number 12, let's deal with the fraction first. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 6. 2 and 3. Well, but again, before I write that, let's take a look at the bigger number. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 18. 6 and 3. Alright, now let me come back and let's say, give me two numbers that multiply equals 6. 2 and 3. Okay. So we cancel out the 3's. We have 2 over 6. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 2. 1 times 2. What about 6? 2 and 3. Cancel out the 2's. So we have 1 over 3. The reason why I came back for this, because when I had 6 over 3, and I was going for give me two numbers that multiply equals 6, I was hoping you guys will say 6 over 1. Cancel out the 6's so we can get the fraction. That's why I came back to it. But it's okay, we got 2 or 3. Alright, so we have 1/3. And then on the front of it, don't forget the whole number. So I'm going to write this as 2 and 1/3. Right, don't forget the whole number. Any questions up into number 20? Alright, let's take a look at number 21. Let's simplify this. Let's look at 36. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 36. 6 times 6, okay. What about 30? 6 times 5. Cancel out the 6's, so we have 6 over 5. Now our problem, questions 21 through 30, our problem is that the bigger number's on top. And we cannot have that. The bigger number has to get the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide. This is going to give us a mixed number. So I'm going to go 5, it's going to go into 6. Right? The bigger number, I'm going to put it inside. I'm going to do a division. How many times does 5 go into 6? 1 time. I know 1 times 5 is 5. What's my remainder? 1. So with the remainder and the initial 5, I'm going to make a fraction 1 over 5 next to the big number. Once again, if we have the bigger number on top, we're going to finish with a mixed number. Remember, I call a mix because there's a whole number and a fraction. On the fraction, we cannot have the bigger number of top. We call that improper, which means it's not proper. Improper fraction. Let's take a look at number 22. Let's simplify first. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 16. Okay, and 2, alright. What about 12? Then we're hoping we cancel either the 8 or the 2. 6 and 2, alright. So we have 8 over 6, we can still be simplified. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 8. Alright, 2 and 4. What about 6? 2 times 3. Cancel out the 2's, so we have 4 over 3. But we have an improper fraction, so let me go 4 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 4? 1. That's my big number. What's my remainder? 1. So using the remainder in initial 3, I'm going to write 1 over 3. 1 and 1/3. Let me take a look at one more example. Let's take a look at 24. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 45. 9 times 5. What about 27? 9 times 3. Cancel out my 9s, so we have 5 over 3. So let me go 5 divided by 3. How many times is 3 going to 5? 1 time. And then 1 times 3 is 3. My remainder is 2. So using the remainder, in initial 3, I'm going to write 2 over 3. I have 1 and 2/3. Once again, if the bigger number is on top, we have an improper fraction, switch it to mixed number. Any questions?